Hello, this is Lauren Parton, and this is my performance of my personal narrative. Last semester, I had a night class from 6 to 9 p.m. It was an anatomy class, so we had lecture for an hour and a half each night and lab for an hour and a half each night. It was getting close to 7:30, and me and my friend had just gotten out of lecture hall. It was a cold January night, so in between the transition from lecture hall to lab, I wanted to go get a coffee from the local coffee shop that is on campus. My friend decided that she would go with me, but she didn't want a coffee, so she had to make a phone call. So while I was inside getting my coffee, she just sat outside on the nearby bench and waited for me. After I got my coffee, we proceeded to walk to lab. I was about 10 feet behind my friend, and she was still carrying on her phone conversation and not really paying attention to what was going on. It was getting dark, and you could not see much except for a car's headlight in the distance. You could not see any figures, and you could not distinctively tell who other people were. We were approaching the four-way stop where we had to cross the street to get to our lab. Still on the phone and not paying attention, she started walking across the crosswalk. As she was walking across the crosswalk, I saw a vehicle coming out of the corner of my eye. It was a four-way stop, so the car was supposed to stop. However, he failed to stop all the way, and he did not see my friend cross the street. She was not aware that he was not stopping until after he had already hit her. I just remember dropping my coffee and running to make sure she was okay, as she had fallen in the road from getting hit by this vehicle. Luckily, she had no major injuries, just a few scrapes and bruises, and she was pretty sore the next day. After I helped her get up, the vehicle was nowhere to be found. It had hit her, and I guess the driver got so scared that he drove off without checking to see if my friend was okay. Furious at the driver for leaving, and worried about my friend, I called our campus security to tell them about what had just happened. My friend was so shaken up that she could not talk to the security officers, and she was not even exactly sure what had just happened to her. I remember what the vehicle looked like exactly, and I described it to the officers so they could make their report. It was a red Ford Excursion, and it was a local city fire department vehicle. The security officers then called the police department and had them send over a state patrol to gather more information. I walked down to the scene of the accident with the state patrol and told him exactly what had happened and what I had told our security officers. After 3 hours of gathering a lot of information and filing police reports, the state patrol was able to locate the guy that had hit my friend. They were able to track him by the vehicle he was in and what time this happened and from what direction he was coming from. He was actually on his way back from a fire. However, he did not have his lights on, and he failed to stop for a pedestrian in a crosswalk, so the whole accident was completely his fault. The fireman had to come to the school where I was at and sign a lot of papers for the police report. He lied and told the state patrol that it was my friend's fault that she got hit and that she walked out in front of him. They ended up suspending this guy's license, and he got fired from his job. This was a very scary moment for me, but I'm just glad my friend was not severely injured. This accident could have been a lot worse than it ended up being. We can learn a lesson from this by being more careful when we drive and being more aware of our surroundings. This could have been prevented if my friend would not have been on the phone and would have been paying attention to what was going on. But she didn't, and then an accident happened that night. This is my personal narrative, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.